10 signs you're suffering from emotional exhaustion. One thing the whole world can collectively agree on right now is 2020 was one hell of a year. In the worst sense, we lived through and are still living in the middle of the pandemic. It was stressful. It's been a rough year for all of us in all aspects of our lives. We've barely seen other people, we can't go out without protective gear, our jobs are unsure at best, work-life balance is gone, and on top of that, a deadly virus is everywhere. That's a lot for anyone to handle. So it's advisable to stay on top of your overall emotional and mental well-being, because despite staying at home for most of the time, our stress levels are through the roof. Hi there. This week on Top Wisdom, we'll talk about emotional exhaustion. It's been a long time coming, but we have to face the music. Before we deep dive into our topic, have you seen our other videos? If not, you can click on the subscribe button below anytime so you can watch our other interesting discussions we've had. How can we differentiate regular stress from burnout? Stress is feeling pressured on the regular due to various reasons like work, relationships, finances, and health, but it's manageable. Burnout, on the other hand, is feeling constantly overwhelmed by everything, that you can barely function, or it takes too much emotional and mental labor to accomplish even the simplest responsibilities. It's much more serious, and studies suggest that if left unchecked, burnout can cause serious cardiac problems. So how do you know if you're suffering from emotional exhaustion? These are some signs that can clue you in. 1. Mood changes. Due to the constant feeling of pressure, a person who is emotionally exhausted may experience rapid mood swings. Even the smallest things can cause them to lash out or get angry at anyone. They can either be overly emotional, or they will be emotionally detached from the situation and it changes quickly. When you're emotionally fatigued, the proverbial last straw on the camel's back can be anything. A missing pen can cause this person to be irrationally angry. Sudden mood changes is one of the most visible early signs of emotional exhaustion. One day you're cheerful, the next day or hour you're down in the dumps. 2. Trouble sleeping. People who are emotionally exhausted will have a hard time trying to sleep. No matter how busy their schedule is throughout the day, no matter how tired they get, sleep just eludes them. This is primarily because of the racing thoughts in their head. The day's not even done yet, and emotional fatigue can make you feel stress about the things you need to do the next day, or make you relive your past mistakes. You'll also notice that you're daydreaming more and more about better situations than the one you are currently in. This daydreaming happens even before bedtime. It serves as an escape to your less than ideal reality. Plus, when you can't sleep, you're stressing about how much sleep you're missing, making it even harder to fall asleep. It's a cycle that feeds your burnout. 3. Fatigue. Since you can't get a good night's rest, guess what happens next? That's right, you're already too tired even before your day started. Is sleeping enough or too much the solution? Well, possibly, if you're just experiencing the regular kind of tiredness or stress. When it comes to emotional exhaustion, no amount of sleep or oversleeping can make you feel less tired. Fatigue is not just because of physical overexertion. Fatigue is a combination of mental, emotional, and physical overwork. No matter how much you try to relax, your body can't recover because you're stretched too thin. You can sleep for 24 hours straight and still feel tired when you wake up. Getting out of bed will feel like a chore. 4. Brain fog. When you're emotionally spent, your brain function is affected. You'll find yourself forgetting things a lot quicker. You'll have a harder time concentrating and performing tasks that are usually routine for you. When you read a report, you might have a hard time understanding one sentence, no matter how many times you read it. You can't follow along conversations, let alone come up with ideas for work. If this happens to you almost every day, you might be on the brink of an emotional exhaustion. It might be a good time to take a break for your well-being. 5. Weight loss or gain. Mental and emotional illness have a physical effect on the body. When you're handling too much emotionally or psychologically, it literally makes you sick. Your immune system won't be performing well, making you more prone to flu and fever. You'll probably experience stomach problems as well. Acid flare-ups, indigestion, and stomach cramps. Add all this to a constant feeling of low energy, it's no wonder why you'll lose your appetite. When you're burnt out, everything is affected. You won't be enjoying food as much, so you end up not eating at all. In some cases, there can be people who will only find pleasure in food, so they end up eating too much. Be mindful if there is a sudden change in your diet. 6. Lack of motivation. I'm sure we all get tired from doing our responsibilities from time to time. It happens even to the best of us. However, if you start to slack off on everything, even on the things that you used to enjoy, then you might be losing your motivation. If you have to talk yourself through getting out of bed every day just to shower and go to work, then that's burnout, my friend. Missing deadlines, avoiding your friends, skipping meals, frequent absences, and a negative outlook are all indicators of being demotivated. 7. Tearfulness. When you're emotionally spent, your emotions could either be on the surface or buried deep down, but when something triggers it, you'll find yourself sobbing or crying uncontrollably. A printer jam can make you bawl your eyes out. If that's the case, you need to take a pause and take a good look at your emotional state. You might be doing too much. Don't get me wrong, crying once in a while is cathartic, but crying because of something that didn't bother you before is troubling. 8. Strained relationships. Every aspect of your life will be affected if you don't take your emotional exhaustion seriously. Your professional and personal relationships are one of the first areas that will be impacted negatively. You're missing deadlines? Your boss will be mad at you. Your colleagues won't be relying on you for future projects. You're tired all the time? Your friends will worry about you. You can't find the energy to respond to their messages? Eventually, the gap will be too big to mend hurt feelings. So take burnout seriously. When you're starting to feel it, it's better to talk about it. You're not alone. 9. Anxiety attacks. In the most simplistic way, emotional exhaustion is because of the pressure from too much stress. Too much stress will trigger anxiety attacks. Anxiety attacks are characterized by scattered thoughts, difficulty breathing, acid reflux, lightheadedness, nausea, and irrational fears, among many others. Anxiety attacks are serious, and if they happen frequently, the best thing to do is consult a doctor. They can disrupt your life, making you unable to be your best self at work or your personal life. Like any illness, they are treatable and manageable if diagnosed properly by a doctor. 10. Detachment. When you're stressed, you have hope that if you just get organized, you can finish your tasks, therefore eliminating the stress. In cases of emotional exhaustion, you'll feel no matter how much you work, organize, and finish your job, you won't be stress-free. You can't catch a break. When this happens, the only thing that's going to make you feel relief to you is to detach. So you switch off your emotions. You stop caring about consequences. You won't even feel any satisfaction over accomplishing things. This happens when you're too exhausted already. You feel like there's nothing of you left. Emotional exhaustion sounds bleak because it is. It's something that we should talk about more. Getting tired over your job or from life from time to time is something that all of us will experience in our lives, but letting it get out of hand to the point where you stop functioning is frightening. The best top wisdom advice that we can give you is to consult a therapist to help you manage your stress levels and help you identify your emotions. If you don't have the capacity to go to a doctor yet, don't be scared to talk to a trusted friend or family member. Talking about it helps a lot. It won't solve it outright, but it will lift some of the baggage off of you. Or you can watch our videos when you subscribe to our channel. We might be able to point you in the right direction. If all those signs are too familiar to you, consider this as your wake-up call. Feel better, friend. We'll see you soon.